I am Tora Speech, also known as Work via Instagram, and to all of my faithful viewers, old viewers, new viewers, people who just start clicking on videos and ended up on this video, viewers, I thank you so much for tuning in. So I try my best every episode to kind of set up for you guys the topic. This particular episode I wrote years ago, actually back in 2014. It's amazing to me how it has kind of evolved and grown over the years with me adding stuff to it, taking things away, doing more homework, doing more research, allowing life experiences to really shape and mold this episode. And I felt led to go ahead and birth this thing today. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know how many faithful viewers I'll still have after this, but that's okay. So long as you take something away from this that is going to challenge you for the better, then it is so, my work is done. So let's get into it. Today, we are talking about sex. Or the lack thereof. On episode 1 of season 2, I briefly shared with you guys my symbolism of purity, which is this beautiful ring that I wear, kind of my commitment to Christ, to remain celibate until marriage, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I did make that vow with my very best friend, Cody. Hey girl, I love you or whatever, back in 2013, but it wasn't until 2014 where I decided to publicize my celibacy and the decision that I made to truly follow Christ and to commit to him wholeheartedly, sacrificing my body in a good way, obviously, to eventually save myself for a man he has created especially for me and I for him. So that took place, but I found that in this journey we are really, really good at telling all of the good things, and we become prophecy or prosperity teachers and preachers telling about the good things and that the sun is going to shine and it's going to be worth the wait and it's going to be a beautiful thing because God's promises for you are so, you are more than a conqueror and this, that, and the other. And while all of that may very well be true, I would not be doing my due diligence as a child of God if it did not share not only the good, but the bad and the ugly. Because let's be very clear, in these 4 years of this whole celibacy journey, when I made that commitment to Christ, and especially when I went public with it, I became what we call a target. Spiritual warfare is real. And when you are truly on a journey where you are headstrong for Christ, honey, when I tell you it is bombs over Baghdad to your left and to your right, and that has especially been the case for me because I am not exempt from turmoil. I'm not exempt from adversity. I'm not exempt. We as Christians are not exempt from things getting ugly. We are not exempt from temptation. And if I can be completely honest with you guys, I have fallen short in this whole celibacy journey. When you are not careful, when you are not mindful, when you are careless of the company you keep, the things that you see, the things that you believe, the things that you read, they truly begin to consume you. I do not make excuses and I do not excuse the sinning that I have fallen short into. But what separates the saved from the unsaved is cleansing yourself of those sins, repenting and dying to your flesh. I don't know, and I don't even care to know any of the bad things that anyone has spoke against you. You are worthy, so worthy of life itself, so worthy of everything beautiful that the Lord has for you. You are so worthy that a man literally died for you. And I have to keep myself reminded of that too. It is so easy to do the norm. It's so easy to fall into the expectations of others. It is so easy to slip by the wayside. One day you just look up and you find yourself so low in a dark place and you kind of wonder how you got there. And sometimes that slipping doesn't happen in the blink of an eye. Sometimes it just happens over time. You skip a day from reading. It's just a day. 1 day turns into 2, 2 days turns into 3 days, 3 days turns into a week turns into a month. And it's just eventually we become comfortable in our inconsistency in doing what is expected of us through Christ. I was a victim of that. I was not reading as I should have been. I was not consulting with family and friends to keep me on the right path. Not that they weren't there, but I was not taking advantage of them. I was not reaching out. I became comfortable in my transgressions, in all honesty. In all honesty, I became comfortable in my iniquities that eventually broke me and turned into me back sinning, falling short of the glory of God. And maybe, just maybe, you can relate. Maybe you found yourself in such a low place, time and time again, attempting to give your body to fill a void of emptiness, hoping that you just giving your body is going to make that person love you the way you desire to be loved. But sweetheart, honey, sugarfoot, diamond, I am telling you, it is not going to work. It is not going to work because God is not in that. And anything that God is not in is destined to fail. When we often get things out of order, when we often try to put ourselves before God, when we often try to figure things out before consulting with God, when we try to make things happen on our time with our will and our plans, when God is out of order, when we put ourselves and then our plans and then God in that order, you feel the dysfunction of whatever it is you're trying to solidify, whatever it is you're trying to bring together, whatever it is you're trying to make whole. But if Jesus Christ is not the foundation from beginning to end, if he is not truly the Alpha and the Omega, you cannot expect it to work. You cannot, let me take that back. You can expect it to work all you want, but it's not going to. And when your expectations are not met, you're going to find yourself disappointed time and time again. Get it back in order. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else will then be added. Get it back in order. I had to get it back in order. I don't care how long ago it was, it happened. It happened. And I had to get it back in order. Come out of your complacency. Come out of your comfortable routines. Come out of things that you are familiar with doing. Stop making excuses for your sinning because that's just who you are. Perhaps that will be all you ever will be if you don't challenge yourself to be more through Christ who strengthens you. Stop making excuses for your sinning. Not only is it shortening your life, but you will not live a fulfilled life according to God's will for your life because you're trying to hold on to what you think is good. But until you step out of your comfort zone and truly trust God for who he is, because obviously trusting you is only getting you as far as you are, which is not as far as God is trying to take you. Let go. Trust God's plan, trust God's will. By the time this video goes live, I'll be a few days out from my 27th birthday. I will be 27 years old. To some people, that may be a scary thing because I am still single, not dating anyone. Quite frankly, not really open to dating right now. My little heart is still trying to be mended, but through Christ Jesus who strengthens me, I am made whole through him. I do not have any kids on the horizon. And that's that. To some people, being 25 and single is scary. I'm about to be 27. I'm knocking on 30's door real soon. I was teasing my sister earlier this year, telling her that we're both about to be 30. Like, you hear me say that. I'm about to be 30 years old. I'm actually turning 30 on March 24th of this year. I'm really not. But the thing is, we're getting older. I'm getting older. And I used to be so worried about marriage, being married. And that is exactly when I found myself fumbling. I started, oh God, Started getting nervous. I started trying to do things my way because God wasn't working fast enough. I started to just desperately give myself, hoping that just maybe that man will find me worthy of being a wife. If I just give him just a piece, just one time, Lord, so he'll know that when we get married, it's going to be amazing. Just give my body just this one time, Lord, so I know. Let me give my body so that he can, in exchange, give me his heart. I went into panic mode. I lost sight of order. I don't care if I'm 27. I don't care if I'm 37, 47, 57, or 97. If God has called me to a life, not a season, but a life of singleness, and that means I do not have sex again for the rest of my life, Jesus, have mercy on me. I know that it's not the life he has called for me because I know the promises that he personally has for my life. But if he just tells me one day, actually, Tori, I'm going to switch up the tempo on you, and I'm going to just call you into a lifetime of singleness. If that is what my God has for me, then his will be done. You know why? Because I am unashamed and I am unafraid. I am unashamed to proclaim, to publicly profess my love for Jesus Christ and me following him. And I am not afraid of what the future holds, period. I challenge you to stand up for the same thing unapologetically. Unapologetically be who you are through Christ Jesus, who strengthens us. I challenge you to demand order in your life. Because what you allow is what will continue to be. To my queens, I challenge you to set boundaries and expectations in relationships in your life. And for any fella that is not here for it, then he is not the one God has called for you to be with. To my fellas, my kings, yep, I have a message for you too. It's time for you to step up and stop making excuses for consistency and slackness. I feel like we sisters are so good at coming together, forming groups and trying to be on the right page and trying to live a life of Christ, but without our headships, without these leaders, it's kind of hard for us to play our role when you aren't leading as you should. I'm not pointing the finger, but what I will say is, when Adam and Eve were in that garden, and even though Eve is the one who convinced her and Adam to eat from that forbidden tree, even though she was the one who initiated the sin, when God went to confront them, he didn't go to Eve. Who did he go to? He called Adam. He said, Adam, come here, let me holler at you. You know why? It may not have been Adam's fault, but Adam has a responsibility. Adams of the world, it may not be your fault, but you have a responsibility. As our headships, as leaders, as the kings you are called to be, you have a responsibility. Take order. Take it as serious as these queens that are surrounding you. I know, man, you're a female. It's easy for y'all not to have sex. Y'all don't want it as bad as men do and blah, blah, blah. If girls or females don't want sex or yearn for sex as much as you do, then who are you having sex with? Obviously another female, for those of you who are heterosexuals. Obviously the female wants it too. Stop making excuses for your sinning and step up, grow up. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, grow up. Just as Christ expects you to. It is your responsibility to understand the woman. It is your responsibility to understand woman. No more excuses, guys. Step up. And I know maybe you didn't have a father to model it for you. Maybe you didn't have a mom to model it for you. Guess what? Neither did I. Literally lost my mom at 6. My biological father went to prison for life. Following that, immediately, maybe you did not have it modeled for you in your life, but because you know better, you have to do better. Take responsibility in becoming better. Take responsibility for your life and stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. You are an adult who is able to make the decision to do better. There's no more blaming. There is no more blaming what you don't have. There's no more blaming the lack of. There is no more blaming mama, daddy, grandma, auntie. There's no more blaming them, because at the end of the day, you have to answer for your life. It is nobody else's fault for where you are but your own. You have to take ownership. And because you know better, you have to do better. There's no backtracking and trying to fall short now, because you, to whom much is given, much is required. So the more that you know, the more you have to do. That's just the way that it is. Step up. Men, women, my queens, my kings, step up. It is not going to be easy. It has not been easy. I just sat here and publicized my sinning. It has not been easy to live for Christ, but every day I find it rewarding in some way or another, because God is worth it. Your future is worth it. Temporarily sacrificing something for a bigger cause will always be something permanently worth it. Will always reap something permanently worth it. I demand order in my life. And I challenge you, I dare you to repeat that with me. I demand order in my life. I am strong. I am capable. I am consistent. I am called to do great things. I am called to stand out. I am called to use my voice for the upbuilding of the kingdom. I am called to make a difference. And if that means that I have to be isolated from people who do not understand me, then let the isolation begin. We are unashamed. We are ready. We are equipped to win. The fight is fixed in our favor. And everything and everyone that God has for us will be here, will come, and it will stay. And it will be so beautiful. As soon as you hop out of that rat race of familiarity and comfort, then will you experience truly the beauty of living wholeheartedly a sacrificial life for Christ. It will not be easy. Once you make that proclamation over your life, honey, you think you have experienced hell. You think you've been a target. Oh no, when you piss the enemy off to let him know that actually I'm on God's side, I'm on Team Jesus. Oh honey, God is going to open up the window of warfare, and it's going to get real. It will. And Christianity it's not nothing to be afraid of. You know, you're going to fight in life regardless. But the good thing is when you fight on God's side, as I said before, you're destined to win. So that's the difference in fighting with another God versus fighting with Christ. You're actually going to win. Whether that's short term or long term, you're going to experience victory. So keep fighting. Keep standing up for what you know is right. Keep standing against things that have called you into damnation. Stand against those things that are not of God. Because at the end of the day, whether you're a believer of Christ or you aren't, you're still going to have to answer to him. Period. I don't care what you believe or don't. We are held accountable for the things that we do and even the things that we don't do. So I challenge you. Go at it raw. Be open about it. Stand firm in your faith. Stand firm in what you know to be true. And cast out and rebuke those things that try to stand against what you know is right. You have a responsibility whether you like it or not. Tora, I'm talking to you too, girl. You have a responsibility whether you like it or not. You have a responsibility whether you like it or not. This cross we shall carry until we see Jesus. It's going to get heavy. And not to be a cliche of it's worth the wait, but it will be worth the wait. More than anything though, as I stated before, it's not going to be easy. But more than anything, it's going to require you to get heart. It's going to require you to do work. And it's definitely going to require you to push through. But if there is anybody to get it done, because you went and you sat and you listened to this entire video, because you made it to the end of this video, that lets me know that you ain't playing. So you are the one to get it done. So let's get it.